that time of year again. In St. Louis, the Cards file a joint return and hope for windfall profits yet again. The long form is in vogue in Los Angeles, where the Dodgers minimize their losses by writing off the Giants. In New York, the Yankees prefer the short form, and the bottom line points to early dividends. But the biggest return of all comes in Kansas City, where a 3-year investment finally pays off. So avoid the penalty and don't miss the deadline. It's in your best interest to take stock in the Pennant Chase. And welcome once again to the Pennant Chase. The baseball season is a week old now, and the Cardinals are sitting in a familiar pose near the top of the National League East. But skeptics question whether St. Louis can repeat as pennant winners. So far, though, the Cards appear to have things well in hand. The National League pennant-winning Cardinals looked fit and chipper when Montreal came to town. Like the Redbirds of '85, they were well in stride. In Game 1, Vince Coleman was back on the run, stealing 3 bases. While last year's MVP, Willie McGee, made his first hit count very big. McGee's homer gave the Cards their first extra base hit of the season. But that opened the floodgates, and out poured Jack Clark, who rocked the park with a blast of his own. Next up, Tito Landrum, who made it back-to-back. In all, 3 homers in the inning. Ah, yes. When sorrows come, they come not as single spies, but in battalions. Bob Force added to Expo woes, giving up 1 run in 8 innings as the Cards raised their record to 3-0. Next day, the Expos fell victim to the Tudor curse. John Tudor went 6+ innings for his 18th straight victory at home and win number 22 in his last 23. But that wasn't all. Tudor also starred at the plate. First he hit lefty and keyed a 3-run fourth. Then he switched to the right side and drove home another run in the 5th, boosting the Cards' lead to 5-0 and putting things in tip-top shape in the house of Tudor. In Game 3, Montreal's Dan Villardello took over behind the plate and held a tight rein on Cardinal roadrunner Willie McGee in the very first inning. Bryn Smith, meanwhile, put the reins on St. Louis batters, giving up 1 run in 6 innings to even his record at 1-1. Cardinal bats also fell flat against Jeff Reardon, who picked up his first save of the season. Montreal won the game 3-2, putting the Skids on the Redbirds' 4-game win streak. Welcome now to the Philly Follies, starring the New York Mets. Opening night in Philadelphia brought back former Philly slugger Greg Luzinski to the vet, but the fun was spoiled in the first inning when Gary Carter poked one out of his favorite park.
This ball well hit, left center, way back, this ball is out of here. Mets lead 2-0.
Then the Follies began, but Bob Ojeda came on in the 5th and brought order to the chaos, beating the Phils 9-7 for his first win as a Met. Next night featured more wackiness, including 36 hits and 21 walks, plus a dwindling 7-4 Met lead in the 9th with Steve Jelks up and 2 on.
Here's the pitch.
Swing and a drive into right center. It's a camper going all the way back to the fence. Wilson scores. Hayes will score. Jelks heading for third. He's there with a triple. And it's a 7-6 game in the 9th inning.
Philly fans wanted more, and so did Gary Maddox, who pinch hit next.
Here's the strike.
A 2-strike pitch. Fastball knocked up the middle. Base hit center field. Jelks scores. The game is tied at 7.
But the Phils weren't through, and neither was Steve Jelks 5 innings later.
Swinging a smash, base hit center field. Game's over. Phillies win it by a score of 9-8 on an RBI single by Steve Jelks.
There was no disguising the Mets' sinking fortunes again next game, especially when Darren Daulton added to them in the 4th.
drive, deep left field, watch that baby way out of here.
Shane Raleigh kept the Mets way off course, going the distance for a 4-2 win as the Phillies took 2 of 3 to give the Mets a real shake-up. Next up, a nip-and-tuck affair that put the Giants on top of the heat. In Game 1, L.A. tried to dodge San Francisco's offensive barrage, but Jeff Leonard attacked with a blow that was good for 3 runs. With the Giants ahead 8-1 in the 7th, Pedro Guerrero had a word with his sub, Franklin Stubbs, who promptly put L.A. on the comeback trail with a 3-run blast. L.A. went on to tie the score in the last of the 9th. Then with 2 outs in the 12th, Brad Golden came up with a chance to untie. Golden's RBI single sent the Giants to a 9-8 victory. In Game 2, still more dark clouds loomed over Dodger Stadium as Giant footsteps continued to haunt Tommy Lasorda and his Blue Crew. With the score tied to the 11th, Jeff Leonard knocked the daylights out of L.A. to put the Giants ahead 7-6. Greg Minton then slammed the door evermore as San Francisco beat the Dodgers in extra frames for the 2nd straight game. But next day, the Giants ran into a bit of daring do by the Dodger defense.
First pitch is lifted to left center field. Landreau on a dead run, and this is against the wall. Davis thought it might be caught, hesitates, now coming to the plate. The throw to Socha. He is out. What a tag by Socha.
Socha wasn't the only Dodger putting a hurt on the Giants. In the 7th, with the score tied, Franklin Stubbs struck again. His 3rd home run in 3 games. Pointing out yet another Dodger strong point to the Giants, right-hander Oral Hershiser beat San Francisco 3-2 as L.A. turned a calmer shade of blue. Now let's turn to our player of the week in the National League. Pirates second baseman Johnny Ray has been on a hitting spree, helping Pittsburgh take 2 of 3 from the Cubs. Ray went 7 for 13 while driving in 7 runs, including his first homer of the season. Overall, a .529 average, 8 RBIs in his first 4 games, and a ray of hope for the Pirates. Business, pitching especially. All too often, the culprit is a tear of the rotator cuff, the part of the shoulder which accepts constant abuse from pitching. Now, for victims, it's usually the kiss of death. Few have managed to come back. Wayne Garland, Don Gullett, Mark Fidrich are prime examples. Although pitchers may be the most likely candidates for injury, others have fallen victim as well. And for every ball player, it's often a long and agonizing road back. This year, 2 veterans are fighting all odds to make valiant comebacks. Now this week's cover story featuring a couple of comebacks. Shortstop Rick Burleson made his Major League debut with the Red Sox in 1974, and soon after established himself as the man with the golden arm. Backed by his standout play, the Sox won the pennant in 1975 and went on to the World Series, thanks in part to Burleson's .444 average in the playoffs. But 5 years later, Burleson was traded to California.
I was coming off 2 MVPs with the Red Sox, voted by baseball writers, and came over here and signed a very lucrative contract. Was able to come home to play in front of families and friends, and I had a good year. Consequently, that was the strike season, and they split in 2 halves, and the Angels did not fare that well. But 82 was really looking up prior to my injury, and of course, we all know now that it's just been a battle the last 4 years.
The battle began on display in April 1982 when Burleson suffered a torn rotator cuff. The road back has been marked by disappointment, but Burleson refuses to quit.
I have to prove to the Angels I can play. I have to prove to myself I can play, and not just on a 3 to 4 day a week type situation. I want to be able to go every day, and I have to have the opportunity to show them and myself that I can go about that.
So far in 1986, Burleson has showed his powers of rehabilitation, hitting over 300 in his first 6 games. The man called Rooster just may rule the roost in California once again. Dennis Leonard of the Kansas City Royals is also on the road to recovery, battling back for more than 2 years after a devastating knee injury. The 3-time 20-game winner is confident he can make it back.
If any player came back and didn't think they could do it, they shouldn't come back anyway. So I feel confident, Ken. I need some work. I haven't pitched against big league hitters in a long time. The minor leagues are pretty easy, but I can't judge my performances pitching against 18 and 19-year-old kids if I can't trick them or get them out, I'm in trouble. But as long as my leg feels fine, which it has, and my arm feels fine, I think with a little bit of work I'll be able to do it.
After missing all of the 84 season, Leonard returned briefly last September in relief.
Leonard's coming out from the bullpen. And this place goes wild.
It was really exciting to me that first outing. The fans in Kansas City gave me a tremendous ovation, and it made everything that I've done as far as the rehab, going through the operations, feel like it's well worth it. And it's also given me an opportunity to feel that maybe I'll pitch in the big leagues again.
So how's this for the makings of a Hollywood comeback story? Last week, Leonard made his first start in nearly 3 years. He shut out the Toronto Blue Jays on 3 hits to win his first game since May 23rd, 1983. Final tally, 1-0. It may be premature, but for Dennis Leonard, this season could be a comeback complete. Now for a time to look back with This Week in Baseball History. 35 years ago this week, Mickey Mantle made his big league debut in the hallowed chambers of Yankee Stadium.
First time I was coming out in the stadium, there were 68,000 people here. I think the Yankees was playing the Red Sox. It was the biggest crowd I'd ever seen in my life. I think there's 2,000 people living in Commerce, and the biggest crowd we ever had would be 400 or 500 people, It was pretty scary, to tell you the truth.
Also 33 years ago this week, the Commerce Comet cleared Washington's Griffith Stadium with the longest measured home run.
Every time I come up, I was trying to throw a home run. I love to see it throw a long way. I hit one 565. I'm thinking I'm going to hit one 606 today.
Measure for measure, Mickey had no equal. Now let's feature a trio of celebrated names of the past who are back in uniform. Former Red Sox Jimmy Pearsall may be best known for his famous antics, but in 17 seasons he compiled the 5th best fielding percentage among outfielders ever, a fact not lost on the Chicago Cubs, who hired Pearsall as outfield coach this spring.
Even though you're not sure how hard it is, when you make this turn here, you run as hard as you can. Now look up. But you got to practice that.
If they didn't take advantage of my knowledge, what I've learned throughout the years, when I had a 997 lifetime fielding average, they'd be kidding themselves. And I'm not looking for them to completely change themselves around. We're looking to help one guy in a certain way or another guy another way. And I've even got them coming to me because they know what they can't do. Let's see if we can improve on it with certain drills I have or mental attitude towards the play.
The guy really is a tremendous help, especially to me, and he really knows how to talk with you. It's not an easy way that he goes about his job. He works extremely hard, and this is the way that you're able to go out and get the most out of your ability. And by practicing the way that you do out there in the field, you seem to really carry that out in the game, and I'm looking forward to strengthening my game out there in the outfield.
For Billy Williams, being with Chicago is just like old times. A Cubs standout for 16 years, he's hoping to pass along his sweet swing to the Cubs of today.
Number one, in instructing, you've got to have credibility, and Billy Williams, of course, brings great credibility because of his career as a hitter.
Doing your toe, and you won't come back. You don't want to come back on your back like this. You come off, stay on top of the ball.
Right through the ball.
Don't you good? You go toe, heel, spin. Toe, heel, spin.
And his manner in talking to ball players, I think they respect him and get along with him. They like him personally.
San Francisco took Willie McCovey to heart in 1959 when he came up. Now back with his old team, the Hall of Fame slugger finds today's hitters a different breed.
they haven't hit nearly as much as we used to hit in the past. And I can remember the giant teams we would have. We would just hit until we got blisters in spring training. I mean, if anything, we got too much hit. I guess a little bit more emphasis was put on fundamentals over the last few years. And fundamentals are good, and that's usually what wins ball games. But we've kind of turned that around a little bit this spring because the guys are getting a lot more hit and they seem to be enjoying it a lot more.
Indeed. Sage advice from three of baseball's wise men just may help their disciples find fortune on the diamond. Now time to find out what's going on around the diamond. Kansas City Royal Highness George Brett hit 2 home runs in one game against the Yankees, giving him 195 career homers, most by a Royal ever. Teammate Lonnie Smith took a bad fall while making this catch against Toronto, putting him out of action with a sprained ankle. Red Sox reliever Joe Sampito is on the comeback trail from an arm injury, and in a recent game against Detroit, picked up his first save since 1982. New Dodgers Cesar Cedeno went right to work, filling the offensive vacuum left by Pedro Guerrero. He had hits in his first 2 at-bats. The Padres and Dodgers began the season with a record 7 one-run games. Then L.A. went to San Diego and lost 4-3 in the opener. That made it 8 straight one-run games, including 5 against each other. Yogi Berra wants to remember it, but it was about this time last year that he was about to be fired as Yankee manager. In fact, 16 games into the season, Yankee owner George Steinbrenner made his 12th managerial change in as many years. Now, in case you've forgotten, Yogi's replacement was none other than Billy Martin, who came back for his 4th term as Yankee skipper. Now Martin's long gone, and Lou Piniella has the job. And with the Yankees off to a winning start, it looks as if he might be around for at least another week. With 5 wins in their first 6 games, the Yankees are off to a sweet start. Much to the dismay of the visiting Brewers, who found no sweetheart in rookie Bob Tewksbury. In his Major League debut, Tewks buried Milwaukee for 7+ innings to pick up his first win. Sparking the Yankee offense, Mike Pagliarulo threw a hitch into Brewer plans on a 3-0 pitch.
Hit the air deep, way back, and it is gone.
And putting the red light on Milwaukee, lefty reliever Rod Scurry came on in the 8th and set down 5 straight Brewers to close out a 3-2 victory, picking up his first save of the season. In Game 2, the Yankees celebrated skipper Lou Piniella's anniversary by throwing a bash. Dave Winfield did the honors in the 5th inning with his first homer. But the biggest swinger at the Reininger, who delivered his second 3-run homer of the year. The Yankees raised their record to 4-1 for the team's best start in 10 years. In the finale, the Yankees turned to their ace for a sweep of the series. Ron Guidry complied by picking up his second win, his home record to 15-2 since last season. Also right on target was last year's MVP. Don Mattingly overturned an early Milwaukee lead when he went all the way to the wall. A long way for a single, but the result was 2 runs as the Yankees won 3-1. Dave Righetti picked up his second save of the series as the Yankees swept Milwaukee and closed out their homestand with a den 5-1 record. Next up, the upstart Texas Rangers, who branded the Birds by taking 2 of 3. But in Game 1, the Orioles bit into Texas pitching early. Skipper Bobby Valentine was heartened, though, when rookie Pete Incaviglia snapped out of his slump to take a huge bite out of Baltimore pitching in the 8th inning. For Incaviglia, his first Major League home run, and for Texas, 1 run down going into the last of the ninth. With Baltimore's Don Ossey on in relief, the Rangers had 2 outs and runners on first and second. What then? A pickoff attempt that went awry. 1 run in, the ball knocked loose, and another run followed as Texas scored twice on Oriole mishaps and won the game 5-4. A rousing finish for the rough-and-ready Rangers, who rode herd on the Birds next game. In that next game, the O's were given a bitter taste of Texas relief. Newcomer Greg Harris threw 2 2/3 innings of no-hit ball as the Rangers squeezed by Baltimore 2-1 for their second straight win. But in the finale, Texas fireworks fizzled out as Baltimore pitching wiped out Rangers' spirits. Scott McGregor had Oriole pitching looking like the O's of old as he went 7 2/3 for his first win of the year. Texas, though, was in picture-perfect form with a 2-1 lead when Cal Ripken came up in the 8th and 2 on. A 2-run single and a 3-2 win as the Birds prevented Texas from sweeping Baltimore at home for the first time in 7 years. Next up, the California Angels put on a shower of power at the Oakland Coliseum. Oakland was grooving to the beat of a new season when suddenly the bad news hit. The Angels' Reggie Jackson was in town and swinging a hot bat in the open. Reggie smacked his second homer of the season at number 532 of his career. But California's long ball badge became a real smash in the ninth when Brian Downing came up with the bases loaded.
Well hit to left. See you later. A grand slam for Brian Downing. Downing took an off-speed pitch and teed off on it and drove it out of here.
A's waved goodbye to a 10-3 loss, and then next day waved hello. The new starter, Joaquin Andujar, whose reunion with home plate umpire Don Denkinger may have called up World Series memories. But Andujar couldn't call off the waves of Angel offense, brought on by Reggie Jackson once again. Reggie smashed his 533rd career homer, putting him 1 shy of Jimmy Fox on the all-time list and putting Andujar out of work for the rest of the day. But in Game 3, Oakland proposed quite a different turn of events when rookie Jose Canseco slung into action in the 5th inning.
Whoa! See you later. This one way back and out of here for Jose Canseco.
A 3-run homer for the rookie, who then added some bubbles in the 6th when he got an offer he couldn't refuse. 2 on, and the infield drawn in. Result, 2 more runs, 5 RBIs in all for the Canseco kid. Time now for our Player of the Week in the American League. Robin Yount of the Milwaukee Brewers has been rocking and rolling since opening day. Against the Yankees, he hit his first home run while going 5 for 11 in 3 games. Either by long ball or by short ball, Yount has been immense. In 6 games overall, a .520 average and 3 extra base hits for Rockin' Rob. Well, fans, that's just about all the time we have for today, but the season's in full swing now, and we look forward to seeing you again next week, right here on the Pennant Chase.
donation in his name to Cubs Care. And remember, for all...
Holds on as the strikeout king gets the green light 13 times while giving batters the red light time and time again. Airborne in Texas, the Rangers accelerate their engines and motor into position for the long trek to October. Pennant bound on the Express, the Mets deposit a token of their success with the Cubs. All revved up and rearing to go, the Giants put the pedal to the metal and come up aces in the West. So halt for wheels in place. We've got bumper-to-bumper action right here on the Pennant Chase. Hello again, everyone. I'm Greg Lucas, and once again, welcome to the Pennant Chase. Lo and behold, the San Francisco Giants have toppled the Astros to take over first place in the National League West. Their newfound prosperity may seem premature, what with rookies making up nearly a third of the team, but the Giants have been suffering for a long time. You know, it's been 15 years since the division title and 24 years since they last played in a World Series. We'll have more on that in just a moment. But first, an eye-popping prelude featuring the Boys of Summer. Mission accepted by the Giants, overthrow the first-place Houston Astros, who have been bouncing along in first place since May 8th. In Game 1, Vida Blue delivered a rhapsody in blue, 2 hits and a run through 7 innings. Still more melodic strains came from new bullpen stopper Juan Berenguer, who was allowed 1 run in 25 innings of relief. Against Houston, he picked up saves in the first 2 games as the surprising Frisco Kids pulled within a half game of first place. Poised for their long-awaited takeover, the Giants got backing next day from Chris Brown. He drove in a pair of runs in the first game of a doubleheader as San Francisco came back from an early deficit, obliging the 47,000 at Candlestick, the largest crowd since opening day last year. Helping complete the climb into first, Mike Krukow turned in a 7-hitter en route to his 9th win, and the Giants' moment of glory.
Chris Brown telling Arriba he's got it, and the Giants are in first place as Krukow goes now. Let's listen to this.
Not since August 13th, 1978 have the Giants been in first place so late in the season. Conditions were picture-perfect in the finale as Mark Davis shut out Houston for 6 innings in his first start of the year. But then, down by a run in the ninth, Houston plotted a coup.
Play delivers, 1-0 pitch. Swung on, 2 outs, Ritter! Oh, what a catch!
And what a turn of the tide. A 4-game sweep, 5 straight overall, and a 1.5-game lead in the West. On now to L.A. for close encounters of the Western kind. Strange things indeed for the Dodgers, whose dizzy defense in Game 1 turned Carmelo Martinez and the losing Padres upside down in the 8th.
Line drive, base hit on a curveball into left field. Here's Gwynn with a time run. The ball gets by Landro at center. Here's McGriddle's around. The Padres take a 4-3 lead. Oh, man, what a turn of events that was.
And what a jam the Dodgers were in when Goose Gossage came on. He gave up 1 run, but then shut the door evermore as San Diego won 5-4. The 8th 1-run decision in 11 games against L.A. this year. To sleep, for a chance to dream of a 5-run comeback next game when the Dodgers were caught daydreaming in the field. Result, 6 L.A. errors and a tie score. The lead shifted twice more, and then rookie John Kruk came up in the 14th with 1 on and 2 out. An RBI single for Kruk as the Padres took the lead. Reliever Lance McCullers struck out 4 in 3 innings and needed one more out to finish off L.A.
Chopper, this could be it if it stays down. It does, and the ball game is finally over. The Padres knock off the Dodgers 8-7.
Next game, warnings and portents and evils imminent with the score tied in the night.
Flannery hits one to right field. Going back. That ball is out of here, and the Padres take a 5-4 lead. Tim Flannery puts the Pods on top.
Craig Lefferts kept them there with dandy relief as the Padres swept L.A. in 3 one-run games to create more congestion atop the West. Now to the ho-hum Mets, who just keep on gushing great fortunes at Flushing. The Cubs were looking to get into the swing of things in the series opener, but Sid Fernandez was in the groove and Mookie Wilson on the move.
There's a line drive. A great effort by Mookie Wilson.
Line drive, base hit to center. Mookie Wilson up and throwing. Here comes the throw.
The Cubs were out for good when Gary Carter sparked a 6-run 7th inning as the Mets took the opener. Met hurrays grew faint next day, though, as Chicago offense held sway. Calling up memories of their 1984 rivalry, the Cubs dominated the Mets and after 3.5 innings led 6-2. But the Mets turned Chicago's lead into a brief encounter. New York quickly came back with 3 runs, and then in the 6th, tied the score. However, Rollick and Frolic fizzled out in the 9th inning when Keith Moreland, a Maine nemesis of 2 years ago, did in the Mets just like old times. But in Game 3, the Met Express was back on track and steamrolling past the Cubs. Len Dykstra, an unlikely power source, delivered a crushing blow. The Mets put on another power spurt to give them 32 home runs in 27 games. Sporting his high-tech stuff, Darling notched his first ever complete game victory without a walk.
I guess it's become fashionable now to throw switch finger fastball, so everyone's asking me about it. But I've thrown it for 2.5 years now. It's been an ongoing process for me to try to get it over the plate. This year, my walks are a little down because I pick up mastered a little better.
Good enough to mastermind his 8th win and give the Mets a 24-8 mark at Shea. Oh. Here's Don Sutton has unceremoniously gone about the business of winning. He's never posted 300 strikeouts in a season, never pitched a no-hitter, never won a Cy Young Award, and never led his league in wins. But he has worked 200 innings or more in every season except one and ranks among the top 10 all-time in games started, strikeouts and shutouts. And now he becomes the first 300-game winner to boast only one 20-win season. What it means, says Sutton, is that I stayed around 21 years to win 300 games. I was unspectacular, but I got the job done. On June 18th, mission accomplished for Don Sutton, who satisfied 37,000 customers of the Big A by hitting Texas to enter his name into the record.
1-2 the count to Gary Ward, 2 outs in the ninth. He went around and it's over.
At age 41, Sutton became just the 19th pitcher in history to win 300 games. Sutton had come a long way since April of 1966 when he beat Houston for the first of his 230 victories as a Dodger. Although 1976 produced his only 20-win season, Sutton feels even better seasons were overlooked.
I think the best year I've ever had as a pitcher was 1972. I was 19, I was 99, and my earned run average was somewhere around 2. And I had 9 shutouts that year, so it just happened that in 76 the numbers came. I didn't pitch any better. I can think of 2 or 3 other years that I think I pitched a lot better. I think that sometimes a lot of good pitchers get lost in the shuffle when they don't win 20 because it seems like that's the number you have to be a good pitcher. You can be 19 and 9 and you're not as good as a guy who's 20 and 12.
Critics may have consigned Sutton to the shadows of little renown, but his 15-year career with L.A. brought him into the limelight.
I own most of the Dodger records. Starts, games, shutouts, wins, tied for complete games, strikeouts. Those are all very important to me. Much more important with that organization than they would be with most others because when you think of Dodgers, you think of pitching. And you think of the names of Koufax and Drysdale. I'm goal-oriented, and they had put the numbers there, and they were numbers to shoot at, and I wanted to stay there and pitch well enough to get them. And it means more to me to have them now that I played with those 2 guys than it would if I had never known them.
Sutton parted company with L.A. in 1981 when he signed as a free agent with Houston. There, he won 22 games in 2 seasons before packing his bags once again.
When I was traded from Houston, I had a pretty good idea that I was going to lose because I had asked Al Rosen if he'd trade me back home. I didn't end up where I wanted to go, but I did end up in a city that I think is the best baseball atmosphere I've ever played in, and that is in Milwaukee. Every player should get a chance to play 1 year there. County Stadium, the city, the people, there's just something special about Milwaukee. And I was happy to have played 2 years there, although I still would have much rather been at home.
His wish at last granted, Sutton returned home briefly to Oakland and then to Anaheim. Still a model of consistency.
I know that I'm not spectacular. I know that I'm not flamboyant. I know that I am not a dominating pitcher. But I worked very hard at my trade. I worked very hard at staying in shape, and I worked very hard at staying a good ball player. And I would hope that it would encourage some people who don't have the ability of Dwight Gooden and Nolan Ryan and Tom Seaver to go out and to battle and put together a good career. That's what I would hope.
And that's what Don Sutton has done. Let's turn now to other headliners around the diamond. 1985 Heisman Trophy winner Bo Jackson surprised many by choosing to play baseball with Kansas City rather than pursue a professional football career with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers of the NFL. Jim Fregosi took over the skipper of the struggling White Sox after the firing of Tony La Russa, the one-time manager of the Angels. Fregosi won a division title in 1979. And much ado at Philly, where Juan Samuel cracked 2 3-run homers as the Phillies set a league record with 15 extra base hits in a 19-1 rout of the Cubs. Now the pennant can wait for major leaguers who are really As a season of discontent for the Baltimore Orioles. The starting pitching was inconsistent, the hitters lacked power. All the while, Don Ossie, though, kept saving the day. In June, playing within the East, the Birds regained their power, but were streaky. They swept 3 in New York, then lost 9 of 11. Now, though, the starters are finding their way back into Earl Weaver's good graces, and Don Ossie is still saving the day. After reeling from 4 straight losses, the Orioles were rolling at Fenway and causing a heap of trouble in Red Sox paradise with 20 hits and 14 runs in the series opener. Trying to figure out just what hit him, the Red Sox found one clue in Mike Boddicker, who had no problems figuring out the Sox. In snapping the O's 4-game losing streak, Boddicker won his 6th straight to go 10-1. Storm Davis threw a 3-hit shutout in the finale, helping the O's dash arm in arm back into the chase. The biggest boost has come from Don Ossie, whose recycled arm has dazed opponent. Against Boston, he knocked his 19th save, most in the majors. Despite desperate appeals for a sweep, the O's were granted no clemency by Roger Clemens, who beat the Birds to become the 7th pitcher in history to start the season with 13 straight wins. The K's just kept on coming for the fireballer, who leads the league in wins, ERA, and strikeouts, 114 in 116 innings. With Roger on the mound, it's over and out for opposing batters who own a 118 average against him. Formidable numbers indeed for the college senior who in 1983 led the University of Texas to a World Series title. Capping off a 13-5 record, Clemens beat Alabama in the final game. 1 year later, a Major League audition, and this April, a beat for the Aces.
And here they come up to Fenway. Clemens has set a Major League record for strikeouts in a game. 20.
Clemens struck out the side 3 times and posted a record 8 straight strikeouts in one stretch. And while the drama unfolded at Fenway, the starring performer was unsuspecting.
I had no idea. I was up near 20, and the 9th inning, I was upstairs. I think I had 18, and Nip, one of our other pitchers, Al Nipper, came up and said that you got a chance to make history, and he thought that I needed to know that, and went out there and did it. And it just took a while for it to sink in with everything happening. It really hasn't hit me yet, but like I said, I'm trying to keep it behind me and not let it get out of perspective.
With Clemens so far a prized pupil of the great masters, his boss figures he's bound for even more glory.
Roger Clemens is capable of pitching a no-hitter. If he has everything on that team, and he can, at any given time he walks out there, he is capable of pitching a no-hitter. He has very good ability, very good competitor, very good control. He knows how to pitch.
With backing like that, Clemens' recent efforts appear to be a sneak preview. On now to Toronto for a clash with the Yankees. Though the glow of last year's division title faded this spring, the Blue Jays recently rose out of dire straits, and against the Yankees had a rip-roaring time with 15 hits in Game 1. New York cracked 18 hits, though, and the lead rocked back and forth 5 times before the score locked in a 9th-inning tie. Dave Righetti came on in the last of the 10th to stop a Blue Jay rally, but with 2 on, Damaso Garcia was just itching to write his own ending.
That ball will be over Henderson's head, and this game is over. Ricky Henderson could not get to it, and the Blue Jays win in the 10th.
Forces from the great beyond visited next night when George Bell delivered the Jays from a 4-run deficit in the last of the 9th, bases full.
Oh, no! I don't believe it. Look at this. He throws the ball over the right field fence.
But next inning, Ricky Henderson helped turn the Yankees from rags to riches when he put New York ahead for good, finally snuffing out Toronto for a 10-8 win. In Game 3, manager Lou Piniella again called on Righetti to save the day. But a ninth-inning single by Willie Upshot tied the score as Rags blew a save opportunity for the 8th time. However, Mike Easler capped off a 3-run 10th-inning rally, driving in 2 as the ragtag Yankees eked out the win. Jimmy Williams devised a whole new scheme in Game 3, and Tony Fernandez carried out the order. A double, triple, home run, and 4 RBIs as the Blue Jays collected 16 hits for a 15-1 win and a series split. Having finally reached the 500 mark, Toronto may just be back in the glow of the Pennant Chase. Meanwhile, life at the top has been grand for the Texas Rangers, whose baby-booming lineup helped to win the visiting A's. Sophomore Steve Buechele hit the first of 2 home runs in 3 days, boosting the Rangers' lead to 2-0. A main member of the Rangers under-25 crowd, Odeby McDowell spruced up Texas' lead 2 batters later. Rookie pitcher Ed Correa provided luster on the mound, 4 hitting Oakland to snap the Rangers' 5-game losing streak. Outlandish Oakland defense greeted Texas in Game 2.
And he chops one high to first. Bhakti turns around to throw to Colorado inside. And this is a play at the plate coming. Away. Here comes Fletcher trying to score. He's going to score. O'Brien to second. Nobody covered third. Now they make a throw to third. And O'Brien is safe at third. Fastball bangs it to right field pretty well hit. Canseco to the wall. It's off the wall. Another run's going to score. Canseco did not recover and shoot enough. Gary Ward coming over the inside the ball over.
A 10-7 Texas win and still cruising next day thanks in part to rookie Ruben Sierra, who continued to thrive since being called up in early June, adding to Oakland's dire case of homesick blues. Hardly a forgotten man, veteran Charlie Hough put Oakland on the fritz with 9 strikeouts, and in lowering his ERA to 3rd best in the league, handed the A's their 13th straight loss on the road. Bopping along in the finale, Gary Ward popped Oakland pitching for 3 hits and 4 RBIs as Texas came from behind with 3 runs in the 7th inning. Warding off any further trouble from the A's, Greg Harris came on for his 14th save as Texas swept the series and stretched its club record home win streak to 11 games.
I think we play good baseball. We really have. We have got a good club. You know, we're running more. Well, I think we got a chance of staying in the race all right through the season. It won't be anything dull. We'll try to make it exciting. You like the people holler, you know, make some noise and everything. That kind of peps you up. They're good fans, and we'll show them the type of baseball we can play.
Dire predictions by their fans and a shrinking victory margin of late, the Boston Red Sox still lead the East. But while Roger Clemens has received the greatest acclaim, John McNamara's troupe is certainly no one-man band.
Got some things to talk about here beside the rising tide. Come here, man, bang to the tide. Come on, he's come to take his children home.
Miller has done it once again. He has provided the punch, another 2-run homer. Lions, we have seen him make this catch, mostly, though, going the other way.
Oh, he hit him. That's the game. He hit him. The winning run comes in, and the Red Sox are going to win it by a score of 8-7.
the game behind.
Look up in the sky. It's a bird. It's a bird. It's a plane. It's a plane. No, it's Houston Super Sky. No mere man of steel. Save the day for the Astros. While X spots the mighty Murph. Settles an old score in the West. Golly, Blue Jay. I'm for the utility glasses. Toronto lets loose in the Gotham City. While this captain remains marvelous through 14 as he foils villain again. So grab your decoders and gloves, kids. We've got all your superheroes right here on the Pennant Chase. And hello again, everyone. I'm Greg Lucas, and once again, welcome to the Pennant Chase. As far as the Houston Astros are concerned, if the food of champions play on, for no other team in the National League West offers such credentials. The staff has the best ERA and most saves while giving up the fewest hits and runs. Though neck and neck in the race for first place, the Astros plan to walk arm to a title. In Houston, the Astros kept the Dodgers in a unable to wiggle out of their slumber. Bill Doran gave LA pitching an eye-opener in the first game of the series when he greeted one with number 5. But the Astros really did the number on the Dodgers was Mike Scott. His strikeout hit LA with a lullaby of Shea. At the plate, Scott helped put dreamland with an RBI single as the Astros collected hits in all. Going all the way, shut out LA on two hits, out a career high 11, raising his major league total to 148. Next game, LA took the first inning lead. Kevin Bass sent the Dodgers reeling.
There's a fair ball down the left side. Here comes Reynolds. Astros lead. It's an RBI double for Bass. He's on and struck. Oh, is he hot?
LA could have used a handle Astro defense.
Look at that play by Walling. Coming home.
And what more could set out of sounders but Aurelio Lopez with third save while handing LA its seventh loss in 8 games. Next day, Houston pedaled into a tie.
Base hit. Astros, they tied it up, but they're in the driver's seat.
While the Dodgers were asleep at the wheel.
Nobody covering first. What an inning.
And what relief by Frank DeVino the finishing touches on the three-game sweep as Houston regained first place in the Wild West. Now to Atlanta, where the Braves earned windfall points against the Padres. Waving hello to a 1-0 deficit in Game 1. Chuck Tanner and Company found prosperity just around the corner. With the score tied in the fifth, San Diego tried to throw off Atlanta fortune. But the Braves enjoyed a booming business when Dale Murphy came up with 2 on. And a 5-4 Brave victory. Nearly full employment by the Padres brought only marginal success as Zane held down San Diego Profits. But down 2-1 the last of the 7. The Braves called on their bench, better known as the Bomb Squad. Up came Ted Simmons with 2 aboard, and on came signs of a recovery.
1-1 hit off the end.
Back in the Braves tied the score. Hoping for more dividends. Banner summoned Bomb Squatter Terry Harper from the bench. Two pinch hit payoffs. The Braves won their third in a row. Atlanta stayed on the bench in Game 3 as David Palmer gave up 4 hits. Proving an asset all around. Provided the game winner as Atlanta swept the series. And with the best record in the West since May 1st, moved into third place all along. And now for a change of karma. Departing from their usual attire, the Mets felt a new get-up and their four-game losing string against the Expos. At first, spell didn't seem to work. So Sid Fernandez tried his bat in the fourth inning, and unlike we planned, it was the Expos. Nevertheless, it worked. So far, so good. But more hocus could the Mets inflict upon Montreal. You bet. How about a case of the dropsy? Well done. How about incantation now a saving grace? Nothing to a 5-2 Met victory and an end. Montreal curse. Turning their psychic energy to Chicago, the Mets were once again leading a charmed life. That is, until Jody Davis capped off a three-run rally, and the Cubs took a 3-1 lead. More misfortune was right, but the Doc quickly found a good luck charm next inning when Strawberry came up. A home run to tie the score. And then George put on a great performance one inning later. Though not the usual out of sight right for a complete game. The Mets took two from the Cubs the rest of the East. Another time. Now to those hot and not in the National League. Montreal is hot, batting 35 higher than any other shortstop in the league. He also ranks among leaders in seven hitting department. Giant soft Brown, most second best, and the feverish 4.45 in the clutch. Franklin Stubbs of the Dodgers has been a hot number, helping fill LA's power vacuum. Pair of homers against Atlanta. Rating is third best in the National League. And the Mets Roger McDowell has been riding a heat wave. 7-0. He set a club record start and as a chance to tie the Major League mark of 18 wins by a reliever. Also 6 saves and a 1.10 ERA in his last 24 games. Now, to those not hot. The pennant-winning Cardinals to the lower depth. As for the cold hard fact, they boast the lowest batting average, have half as many home runs as any other team, and stand to hit fewer than 50 homers. Jack Clark is injured. Danny Cox starting pitching mode. He and John Tudor combined for 39 wins last year. Thus far, this year, they have 8. Carlton returns for a final go-round. His Hall of Fame credentials are already intact. Don Sutton, who recently joined lefty in the Magic Circle of 300 game winners, called him the greatest left-hander of his era. Though Carlton never pitched a no-hitter, his 6 one-hitters are unmatched since 1900. What's more, Lefty is the only pitcher ever to win the Cy Young Award 10 years apart. But nowhere was he more dominating than at home Veterans Stadium. Carlton posted a better than 700 winning percentage. Especially memorable, Game 6 of the 1980 World Series. Carlton beat the Royals, and the Phillies had their first World Championship in team history. Our tale of the silent but deadly pitcher begins with St. Louis in 1965 when Steve Carlson arrived in the majors. 4 years later, against the Mets, he delivered the first considerable feat, becoming the first pitcher in history to strike out 19 batters in a game, a record he still holds for a left-hander. In 1972, Lefty was traded to the Phillies. A move at first scorned by Philly fans, but Carlton quickly changed their mind. In his first season with the last place Phils, he won 15 straight en route to a Cy Young Award, and 27 victories, almost one half the team's total. Two disappointing seasons followed. But then in an eight-year stretch, Lefty won more games than any other pitcher in the majors.
Carlton's fastball was never his best pitch. His slider was his best pitch. Once he developed it, and that's what really made him a dominating, especially the decade from 72 through 1982.
Armed with his slider, Lefty collected Cy Young Awards, giving him more than any other pitcher in history. And as the wins piled up, so did the strikeouts. Career strikeout number 3,000. 2 years later, in May 1983, Lefty passed Walter second place on the all-time list, en route to leading the league in strikeouts for the fifth time. 3 weeks later, against his old team, the Cardinals, Lefty toppled the king. That same season on September 23rd, Lefty victimized his former team in another milestone.
Struck him. Ball game is over. Phillies win it 6-2. Steve Carl's winning his 300th major league game. What a pleasure to watch him pitch over the years of joining the Phillies in 1972. Big left-hander, give us a lot of thrills.
Steve Carlton's Philadelphia story remains a classic, for no other pitcher in team history has won more games, more batters than the great Lefty. Time now for newsy tidbits. Three-time Cy Young Award winner Tom Seaver traded his White Sox for a pair of Red Sox, joining the league's best pitching staff, recently beset by injuries. In another swap, the Yankees set outfielder to the Atlanta Braves for Claudel Washington, and minor leaguer Paul Zubella is expected to take over at short. Coach Jeff Newman replaced Jackie Morris into the A's with 18 of 22. Detroit Sparky Anderson became the first manager ever to file 600 victories in both leagues. The signs were there, but San Francisco Rob Thompson wasn't, at least not on against the Reds. He set a major league record stealing four times. P.S. The Giants won in 12. Now back to July 4th, 1985, for a Mets game, you had to believe. The affair featured 46 hits, a 2-hour rain delay, and a cast of 43. In the last of the 18th, the Braves stood on the brink of defeat with no hitters left. So reliever Rick Camp was forced to bat. And he is a deep run. It is gone. Holy cow! But it wasn't over. At 4 a.m., 8 hours after it all began, the Mets won it 16 to 11. Hey now, tis not always that in the grass purely by design. Sometimes Lady Luck intervene. I'm lucky. I can walk on the ladder. Get some directed at the pitching staff, which has traditionally enjoyed an enviable reputation. But with the downfall of starters Dave, Steve, and Jimmy last year's East Division champs fell 6 games below 500 at the end of May, and were stuck in last place. Since then, the Blue Jays have regained composure. 2011 record, change of address, third place. What's more, they climbed 3 games above 500 during a grueling stretch against the East. Their highest standing since the first week of the season. Bustin' loose and on the run. The Blue Jays turned the home record where they held the Yankees captive for 3 games. In the opener, Toronto 3-2 runs in the first inning. But the Yankees countered with their share of flows, and after New York led by a run. But with 2 on in the 8th, Jesse Barfield contracted a long ball fever. Home run number 19 ties the league lead. Doubly damaging to Maso Garcia cracked a record-tying 4 doubles as the Jays won 14-7 and the Yankees their 8th loss at home. Pandora's box pestilence on New York next day. Lloyd Mosby pair of homers as the Blue Jays collected 32 hits in the 2 games. And coming back from a slump, Key proved the Yankee winning his third straight division won their 4th straight game. As for the Pinstripers, a record 9 losses in a row at Yankee Stadium. The Blue Jays tried to score in the winning formation next day with Ernie Witt up and Toronto down.
Stays there. That's job we got a tie. You're in the 5th.
And things stayed that way thanks to a flash of Blue Jays finesse in the field. Then in the ninth, pinch hitter Cliff Johnson snapped the tie with an RBI single. The Jays scored 2 more. And terminating the series, Tom Hickey picked up the save, handing the Yankees their great loss at home. As for the Jays, 5 straight wins and the best record in the league against the East. In Baltimore, the Red Sox serenaded their host with a new rendition of My Darling Clementine. In the opener, Roger continued to croon in the key of K. But Eddie Murray caught the sour note in the second inning with the first home run allowed by 5 games. The Orioles Songbird with another chance, but the Red Sox again proved Clemens back. Though short of their usual 7-run out started by Clemens. The Sox gave their ace all they needed, but he gave the Birds all 11 strikeouts, boosting his league high total to 125. Go to a 14-0. The O's lost their appetite in game 2. Boyd served up a man to win his 10th game, while Dwight Evans blew up a fielding that couldn't be reached. Complementing that delicacy, Evans presented Baltimore with a long ball recipe for home run number 9 as Boston on the sloping Orioles with its 14-19 road game, 7 games ahead of the pack. In the finale, the O's yet another Red Sox binge at the plate. Tony Armas, recently back at full-time, got in on the beat with home run number 3 as Boston 41 hits in the 3-game series. While Sox hitters lined and dined, rookie Jeff Sellers kept Baltimore batters fanning. He went the distance for his first win of 86. Boston handed the O's their 7th straight loss at home. As for the Sox, they filled up on their 8th win on the road. On now to Anaheim, where the Indians mounted early return. The Angels were still beaming takeover the first place. Cleveland harnessed their spirits in game 1 when Mel Hall put 2 on in the first inning.
Ball sends a to center field. It is home run.
It's his third home run of the year against the Angels.
In the ninth, Pat Corrales called on Ernie Camacho, an Angel temper. Prompt service by the Macho Man who saved the day. As Cleveland pushed his record 2 games above 500. No kid stuff. Next game, 47-year-old Phil Negro, 41-year-old Don Sutton. The first matchup of 300-game winners 94 years. But the clout belonged to the youngsters. Rookie Corey Snyder belted 2 home runs. But preventing an Angel fall, California rookie Wally Joyner came to the rescue in the 8th. It was a game winner for the kid called Wally and a one-half game for the team considered by many an unlikely candidate for West Division honor. Hoping to catch the Angels by surprise in the finale, Joe Carter came up in the fifth with a chance to put Cleveland on top.
Drive to left field, forget that one. Drive is on top, Joe Carter. RBI 48, 49, and 50.
The Indians were also on the mound as Ken kept California in check en route to his straight win. Waving a final goodbye to the Angels, Camacho came on for his second save of the series. As Cleveland took 2 of 3 to maintain fresh respect in the East. Now, those hot, in the American League. Kent Herbeck is batting with a smash hit for the Twins. In June, a 427 RBI, and 8 home runs. Yankee hitman Mike Easler ranked among the batting, and of late hitting 38 for 43 games. Milwaukee's Higuera easily on a pace. Rookie win total of 15. As for the sophomore thus far, second in wins, strikeouts, and ERA, and first complete game. Super saver Don reconstructed pitching arm as opposing batter. Already well past career high total of 14. Shea has had a hand in almost 60% of Baltimore's total victory. And now, not so hot. Yankee Ron Henry has been in a deep freeze. Not only has Gator lost 6 straight, but in his last two starts, he was knocked out in the third inning. Brett Saberhagen from the Royal in 3 straight losses, 14 runs and 15 hits. As for Rick Langford, he's lost 8 of 9 decisions while giving an average of 1 run an inning. Word. About wraps it up this week on the Pennant Chase. One final note, though. This year, like last year, the Angels are hovering with first place in their division. Three other division leaders from last year have all fallen from grace. Things can change in a week. And in a year. See you next week for more Diamond Gossip.
Glove, just a batting glove. That's all.